This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 376.
I program my own computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger,
Faster. We have the technology.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events, there are none next weekend, sad. And I don't have any jobs to share this week. Nobody sent me anything, and I didn't go searching. So, sorry about that. Moving on here to segment 1 in the news. Jetpack 9.7 is out. A lot of behind-the-scenes improvements. There's a link in the show notes to the blog post about it. You can now access features without logging in. You can see stats, contact form, SEO tools, and a whole lot more. Check that out if you're interested in, and if you are using Jetpack. There you go. Anything else in the news? I don't think there's anything else in the news at the moment. So that leads me to segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's show, WordPress e-commerce alternatives. So just about a week ago, actually about 2 weeks ago now, a buddy of mine was looking for suggestions on hosting. He asked me a question. He asked a question in our Slack group for a new side hustle he has. I'm like, ooh, a side hustle. I'm interested in helping. And he asked about a hosting company in question that I know about, and I gave him my advice, and he didn't listen to it. No, he did actually. And then diving into what he was looking to do, he wanted to set up an e-commerce site for his side hustle, but not using WordPress. He just wanted to use something else that he already had experience with, which was called, and is called, OpenCart. I was like, turns out he has used it in the past. He knows how to get around it, so he's going to just set that up. He just needed a host to do that. But it got me thinking about other platforms for e-commerce outside of WordPress, like instead of WooCommerce or whatever it is. WooCommerce is the big daddy of them all, or even EDD, or there's other ones there too, I'm sure. But so I decided to start a series like I did last year about alternatives to WordPress. I'm gonna start a new series, one a month probably for the next few months, about e-commerce alternatives from instead of using WooCommerce as a default. So different platforms as well. So with that said, I created a subdomain on my dev server, and because I found out that I could install it on my server, and I then went to install an application. And normally I would pick WordPress, but this time I installed OpenCart. And just so those who don't know, OpenCart, quote, they pitch it this way, is an easy-to-use, powerful open-source online store management program that can manage multiple online stores with a single back-end. There are many professional written extensions available to customize the store to your needs. So with that, I went ahead and installed it, gave it a username, a password, and this will come back to haunt me in a minute. And I installed it. It took about just over a minute to install into my subdomain. And I went to look at the subdomain, and all I saw at first was just a list of text with no CSS, but that actually cleared up a little bit later. I noticed it was running from the dashboard of the host I was on. It's running 3.037. I found the arrow to click to the right to get to the admin page, and it logs me in. I logged myself in with a username and password. A nice interface. It very much felt like WordPress. The dashboard, just a whole bunch of stuff on the left-hand side. Catalog, extensions, design, sales, customers, marketing, systems, reports. Each with a submenu and some with secondary submenus. And I wanted to start off right off the bat with, settings, as I think we should all do. So I went to the settings tab. There's 7 tabs there: general, store, local, options, image, mail, and server. And I updated my local information, where I was located, the state, country, metrics, weights. I wanted pounds versus ounces, pounds versus kilos. I wanted my date and time server would be correct, all that kind of stuff. So basically, I want to set that up. And then once I saved it, I got logged out. I'm like, So I tried to re-log in. No luck. I reset the password. I waited. I got a link to reset my password, changed the password. That didn't work either. So and that's when I noticed that the front end finally did update, and that the default theme of a computer store appeared, which was fine. but I couldn't log back in. Some Googling, I had like, what do I do? So I tried to change my password via the password reset link, like you can do like lost password in WordPress. And I got that email. That didn't work. And then I went to PHPMyAdmin because it's just a database, thinking maybe I could change it there. And that didn't work. Googling showed me some more information about an expired URL string, so I tried to change that, like in their version of like a PHP, like a functions PHP file, and that didn't work. So I also read on Google that maybe certain usernames and characters it didn't like. I used an underscore for the one I was testing out. That didn't work. So all that said, what did work was I nuked the site and I started over. I got back in. This time, I did not change any settings to start with, or those settings at least. But I did review, I did dive more into like the product aspect. I removed the default products. I added a whole bunch of my own. Easy enough. Plenty of tabs and data, much like other e-commerce instances or platforms, or we'll say Woo. Okay, it's not a big deal here. And then I went through a bunch of the settings with the products. I added a coupon, some vouchers, some gift cards, and really well thought out. There's a lot of stuff you can do here. Now, I try to change the banner images, replace the menu, rearrange like what I call the theme, and that was not super simple to figure out at all. To me, it wasn't obvious. I did finally change the content in the image on the new banner, figured out it was under Home, Extensions, and Banner, but it's not the same of what you expect. It wasn't user-friendly. I did also find that they have a marketplace, which is where they have plugins, like extensions, that would be compared to on the WordPress space. And there are free and paid. One of the free ones that's featured is for Square, for taking online payments, I'm guessing. And the theming was very interesting to me. And what I mean by that is there are no pages or blog to speak of. I didn't see an easy way to manage this. There's a theme editor, and you could choose the templates for every little page or every area of the website. I don't think there are even pages. But apparently there's a language you have to know and use called Twig. So that is a potential deal breaker for many people. If you have to learn to code something to change the theme or the layouts, that's odd. So again, not the most user-friendly to do right off the bat. And they have a forums. There's plenty of support out there. There's a forums group as well. You could check that out too. But to kind of wrap things up here, it's a 30,000-foot view. If you're looking for a WooCommerce alternative and want to learn a totally new system, sure, by all means, check out OpenCart. It could really work for you. It's working for my buddy, and that's fine. If you're used to WordPress, specifically in pages and posts and even custom post types and those in plugins, I don't think this is going to be what you are looking for one. And yeah, you could have a blog by installing WordPress into a directory. You can call it WordPress or just blog or whatever, install it there. So you could have the best of both worlds if you wanted to, but I don't see myself moving over to OpenCart anytime soon. I just found it just didn't really click with me. So there you have it. And finally, by the way, I changed the settings again back to the US settings for metric to pounds, my location to North Carolina, all that stuff. And once again, it logged me out. So there's a bug in there somewhere. And once I got logged out, I could not log back in. So I nuked the site and moving forward the rest of my life. So there you go. So if you're looking for an alternative, and you want to learn a new language called Twig, and you don't want WordPress, check out OpenCart. That's what I guess I'll say. So there you go. All right, moving on. Tip and tool of the week. This week, the tip, it's a tool. It's called Library Extension. It's over at libraryextension.com. I like to read a lot of books. I do read a lot of books. I'm in a book club. I'm always reading something. And if you are also ordering books online, this is an extension for your Chrome browser or Safari or Edge browser that if you're on Amazon and you type in a book you're looking for, it'll tell you if your local library has it, that you can check it out for free, either the audiobook or the ebook. It's pretty cool. Or you can actually just, I guess, go reserve it. So it's totally free extension. It's over at libraryextension.com. Just want to share that with you. I think we should all be reading more. So that's my 2 cents there. All right, let me wrap it up here. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use a SpeakPipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon. I would appreciate it. That'd be awesome. You could sponsor the show as well. There's a form on the website. And if you're looking for some business coaching, that's over at adamsilver.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.